我見到一個日本兵殺咗好多人，就知道你會死。
我以前就係一個日本兵。
咁點解你？
Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Directed by Johnnie and Wai Kai-fei, Running on Karma is a lesson on Buddhist philosophy, cleverly disguised in a commercial hit, using fate as the main bloodline for its highly original story that often comes across surprisingly violent for a Johnnie film. If there was ever a film that wowed me on first viewing, and for many more after that, it was Running on Karma. Originally starting life as a comedy and possible sequel to their Love on a Diet with Andy Lau, the film is also known as an intelligent muscle man in some Asian territories, although is probably more suited to the former given the story and spiritual theme involved. Running on Karma is a multi-award nominated and winning film from the amazing Johnnie and his regular cohort and Milky Way partner, Wai Kai-fei. And even though they have worked together for many years and brought fans countless amounts of highly acclaimed titles, I still believe that this is one of their finest works to date. It's quite clear to see why an amazing film such as this deserves so many of its awards and nominations. Offering something quite different to its audience during this period, and from To himself, Running on Karma just ever so slightly dips its toe into the fantastical world of the heroic trio movies. Two earlier titles from Johnnie which stand out from his more regular known style of works. And I guess, in hindsight, Running on Karma does too. It's also worth noting that long before the MCU and Hollywood's obsession with comic book heroes, Hong Kong cinema had its own range of superheroes. These guys and gals could fly, they could kick ass without breaking a sweat, cut down trees with one chop, and do many amazing things that made my eyes pop right out of my head. Although, with that in mind, I do believe that writer Wai Kai-fei and director To had no intention to create a genuine superhero movie, yet, with Running on Karma, have managed to bring to us one of the most touching and amazing movies of that genre. In the broadest sense, of course. Incredible, with plenty of beautifully lit Hong Kong city night scenes, the film opens with a very happy and very hot Andy Lau, aptly named Biggie, gyrating on stage in a club while he strips down to his thong. As the notes build up around his waist and an overly excited Cecilia Cheung screams from the sidelines, he rips off the thong and tosses it aside as the police bust in on a raid, with Miss Cheung revealing her true reasons for being there. At the same time, just streets away, intense detective Eddie Cheung is leading his team in a fresh murder investigation. Arriving at a rundown apartment, the police find a mess of curry and blood that soon leads them to the body of an Indian man whose face has been pulverized. As the story progresses, Lau opts to help Cecilia Cheung crack the case and sets out to find the Indian murderer, using his mystical skills to show what may have happened at the crime scene. It's a rollercoaster first half of the movie with a great blend of dark violence, tense action, and a sprinkle of humour, especially when Andy Lau attempts to give chase on a moped. The second half allows its audience to catch its breath for a moment as it begins with the cops trying to capture a cat burglar who has covered himself in grease. He also has the powers to leap from building to building and scurry along walls like a lizard, which is weird upon first viewing, yet oddly works. Played hilariously by the late great Hon Guok-choi in what would be his last ever role, his attempted capture leads to the near death of Cheung. Thankfully, Lau is on hand to save her in what is undoubtedly the most superhero moment of the film. Having seen Cecilia's karma and fate upon their initial meeting, the gentle giant is determined to save her soul no matter what it costs. And it is this relationship between Lau and Cheung that really holds your attention. Directors To and Wai trick the audience into falling for a romantic subplot as the leads exchange glances over dinner and have romantic walks before we are thrust back to the temple for a final act. An act that took a twist I could never imagine was coming. Of course, I can't forget just how incredible Andy Lau's muscle suit really looks. He absolutely pulls off the buff bodybuilder look, and in terms of the artistry of the piece itself, it was just amazing. Every pore and muscle looks fantastic and is so artfully done, on view for everyone to see as we get to watch Andy in the nude many times. It's as impressive as the performance by Lau himself, strengthened by that of his co-star Cheung, and a great supporting cast throughout. Saving the best fight for last, fight choreographer Yuen Bun sprinkles enough eye-popping and exciting action scenes throughout, almost bringing the feel of an early 90s wuxia classic to modern-day Hong Kong. Yet somehow, it works. While you could say that it is one of a kind, Running on Karma is definitely one of those films that needs to be seen to be believed, and has never looked better than its gorgeous new restoration on Blu-ray from Eureka Video, which lets us see the film as its directors had hoped for. As one of my all-time favourite Andy Lau movies, I can't recommend Running on Karma enough for fans of Hong Kong cinema, or anyone wanting to watch something just a little different.